everyone, welcome back. Today's tutorial is for puppy pose, and I personally love this one, but I know that it's a really awkward position to be in. It's a really awkward shape to put your body in. So I want to go over puppy pose and make sure that we're doing it safely and correctly as well. Because anytime we do a deep back bend like puppy, where the neck is involved, the spine is very active, we want to make sure that our alignment is solid so that we don't cause any injury or unnecessary discomfort. So I'm going to show you the full pose, and then we'll kind of work backwards in modifying and making sure that you're doing it well for your body. So puppy pose looks like this traditionally. So the neck is kind of on the ground, you're looking straight ahead at the fingers, the hips are over the knees. So I wanted to pause there because it is a little awkward to speak in, and you'll notice that I think one of the things that can really get us hung up in puppy pose is this extension of the neck, because typically the under part of your chin here is what's on the ground. So your forehead's not on the ground traditionally. Your eyes are looking forward, and the under part of your chin is on the floor. That can be way too intense. For the most part, I think it is for a lot of people, and if that's the case for you, you can modify it by just bringing the forehead to the floor. So let's back it up from there. So if this version just does not feel good at all, just take your forehead to the mat. And if this still feels really awkward on the shoulders, like it's way too much on the shoulders, the chest, you can bring your hands in and bring the forehead to the hands. So I would say one of the key foundational aspects of this one is just to make sure that the alignment in the hips is correct, right? So let's just focus on making sure that once you get into whichever version of puppy you're going to take, that the hips line up over the knees. So you want to make sure that they're not too far back, because then you might also feel some pinching in the hips up here, in the hip flexors. So make sure that they're stacked over the knees. And that way the spine doesn't have too much pressure on it as you come down to either the hands or the forehead, or eventually all the way down to the chin. So think of as usual, actually, as in a lot of poses, the pelvis, the hips are sort of the foundation from which you move from. So puppy pose is no different. Another element that I think is really up to you, you can keep the toes tucked under if that helps you feel more stable. Honestly, the position of the feet doesn't matter as much in terms of the safety of the pose. Really, just do whatever feels best. You can keep the feet untucked, so the tops of the feet are on the floor like this, or you can tuck the toes under. But again, I think if you first focus on this alignment here, the hip over the knee, you're going to be in good shape. And then the modifications are pretty straightforward. The full pose is with the chin on the ground, but if that is just not happening for you, it's way too much, back it up one level, take your forehead to the ground, and if the shoulders are really bothering you, especially you feel like back here where your shoulder blades are, around the shoulder blades, under the arms and into the chest, if it's still way too much, back it up even more. Take your hands in and just let your forehead rest on the mat. It requires a lot of flexibility through the spine and, of course, around the shoulders, around the chest, the neck as well. So if you're not perfectly warm, if your body's not ready for it, this is not the pose to push yourself past those limitations. Ease your way into it. Go gradually, go slowly, and take the modifications anytime you feel like you're not 100% ready. So hopefully that was helpful. There is your puppy pose tutorial and modifications options. Let me know if this was helpful. I hope it was, and I'll see you right back here next time.